Oh, well, let's do it. Testing, 1, 2. The f***ing cricket is back here. Just in case you guys are hearing something. Yeah, but then there's nothing we can do here.
Mother Nature is in charge, sir.
Yeah, well, there it is. First time we ever had something like this.
Special guest. This is our first special guest.
Yeah.
It is our first
special guest, Cricket. How you doing, Cricket?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of Off the Top with Rikishi Fatu. I am your co-host, TMD. And we want to thank our sponsor, Nox Pro. That's right. You want to find out everything involving Nox Pro? All you got to do is log on to the World Wide Web at www.noxpro.com. Big Quiche, how are you feeling?
Whoa, I'm exhausted, man. You know, coming off of this WrestleCon weekend, this WrestleMania weekend. Well, you were there with me, you know what I mean?
Sir.
It's kind of like, we had like 3-4 hours sleep a day?
Yes, you did a lot. You were 3 days there, nonstop activity until you went to your room. It was bananas, but it was so awesome. First of all, it was great to see you, first of all, in your element with your peers.
Yep.
When getting to walk in with you, behind you, in before the crowd even got there.
Yeah.
I got to see everybody walk up to you and say hello, show the respects, and everybody. I mean, the who's who of the professional wrestling world. They came up to you, showed their respects, and one of my favorite interactions that I witnessed was when Perry Saturn came up to you. You were in the middle of saying hi to Godwin. I believe it was Henry Godwin.
Right.
And Perry Saturn, he tapped you on the shoulder, and you did not recognize him, but you were still courteous to him. And then it came to you. It was Perry Saturn.
You know, I haven't seen Perry in a while. And, you know, he definitely looked different. And then, kind of just hearing things that he went through. I think he was homeless for a bit. He was going through some hard times. And, you know, when I see, friends like that, I never forget how professional he was with me. We had some of the greatest matches. Like, he was one of those guys, like, when you seen who you working with on the list, it's like called a night off, right? So, it was good to see Perry, he was in good spirits. He doesn't look the same, but he's in good spirits. So for you kids that are listening, Google Perry Saturn. He was with one of the greats of Eddie Guerrero, when he came in from WCW. I want to thank, fans that came through. We raised good amount of money for, our cause with busting for autism awareness. And I want to thank all the fans for coming out, bringing their new Funkos.
Oh, my goodness. Man, there were so many of those floating around in that convention.
Man, I'll tell you, I was so happy. Anything that I signed that day, but the most was like the Funko. Just being able to see, my first Funko and all my fans and everybody, had it. They all said they went to the WWE shop over there at the WWE Fan Fest, right?
Yeah.
And by the time they got back over there, it was all sold out.
Man.
And so they came to me at our table there and, signed that, and proceeds of my Funkos, went to, Busting for Autism. So, this is an organization that I'm a proud ambassador for. And I'm very happy that people came out for WrestleCon. And also, big shout out to Hideouts with Steve Duckett. They came over there and then they laced Big Kishi up with, all the, the beautiful prints. It's not that cheap stuff. It's all metallic. We had posters and, and we had new merch. Big shout out to, Gimmicks Promotion for bringing the Uso Mania shirts.
That sold out. There was nothing left. So I was a part of the team. I was helping out. And you had a line every day, every 3 days there. You had a line. Nonstop. I mean, it was exhausting. I know he was feeling it, but one of my favorite interactions, because I've seen how you are with your fans. You treat your fans like gold.
I love them.
Yes, sir. But the one interaction with the one fan, because I know you were tired of signing all day, but there was one that came up in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
And you got up, no hesitation, no problem. And you came out and you took the picture. And not only that, you laced them up with some swag.
Right.
And it brought such joy to the mom. And I just thought that was really kind of you. Just the interactions were off the wall. On one side, you got the head shrinkers. To the left, you got demolition. I mean, this weekend was just bananas. And then, of course, the big event, WrestleMania 2-night Extravaganza.
Yes, sir.
So right away, night one. First of all, what were your thoughts on the overall WrestleMania experience this past weekend?
Well, again, it's nothing new. That's exactly what I expect, and all the fans that are coming to WrestleMania. It is the greatest show on earth. As you can see, like WrestleMania and WWE, they don't hold back expenses when it comes to WrestleMania to be able to deliver that fan experience for the fans. Now, for me, for the first night, rating a 10 being great, I kind of felt like it was a 6. And, the all the hype and everything was great, leading into it. But, I just didn't feel that it delivered that first night, with the exception of, of course, the matches that were built around that first night, which would be, the Bloodline and, the Usos matches and so forth. But, I did enjoy Rhea Ripley's match.
First match of the night.
That's a difficult spot.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? To go out there, this is the first match of WrestleMania. You can't go out there and have a stinker. And, she has so much just, I feel Rhea done really found herself, molding herself mentally and physically into that character. I love the group, how her entrance was.
With the live band, I'm a sucker for that every time someone does that. HBK did it before. I love it when people do that.
It just hits different when the live band's there.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And she was right there with it, just knocking it out.
She looks so good.
Yeah, okay. Just
like
the way,
I said,
if you guys can only see him when he said that.
She is, without a shadow of a doubt.
Fine. She's fine.
A saucy Aussie.
Yeah, Rhea's fine.
And, she was in there. She defeated Becky Lynch, of course, retaining her title.
Yeah.
That was definitely a great match to open up the night.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then again, there was the championship six-pack tag team ladder match, of course, with the Awesome Truth and A-Town done under defeating the Judgment Day. What are your thoughts on that match?
Well, let's go. That was Truth and
The Miz.
The Miz that went over, right?
Yes, sir.
So here's my take on that. Like, it was. I'm so happy for R-Truth. Let me just cut straight to it. Here's a brother that came out there, building this brother as if he's kind of, a little loose in the head, like not smart, like that's, kind of that's what their gimmick is, saying that, this black dude doesn't know, right? Like he just, tell him go left, he goes right, right? And then, Truth being the veteran, twisted that whole thing around. And if you watch that match, there were, yes, a lot of high flying type of big moves into the ladders, and a lot of bodies been, thrown into the ladder. And I mean, there was a lot of, bruises on these wrestlers. But my point is, we're in a sports entertainment, right? So all these cats here, they go out there and they throw their bodies all into ladders and chairs, tables, and then here you have Truth. Truth came in there. If you ask me who got the biggest pop and did the less in there, that was all he had to do, was R-Truth. It was so entertaining. So by the time that match is over, do you really think everybody's going to remember those bodies going into the ladders, those bodies going into the tables, unless they replay it, right? But they're going to remember in their mind who was the funniest, who got the biggest reaction. And, on a personal level, I was happy for Truth that he turned that somewhat to me like a negative type of gimmick that was thrown on him. And then, he became out the winner. And that just goes to show you, like, who would have thought they'd put the belt on him?
Right.
Right? I mean, this table and ladders match is huge. What would you think to put it on a guy like Truth? And all Truth's gimmicks has been, with the last couple of years, has always kind of been that right there. Like, that's the best you have to deliver a guy that's talented. That's the best writing you can do for a guy like that. So big ups to Truth for seeing it come a mile away. And just, as of now, Truth is laughing all the way to the bank.
Yes, sir. And I tell you what, I think that calls for a drink, Mr. Drink Master.
All right. What you got there, my man?
Here's our famous Caipirinha.
Yeah.
Caipirinha.
There you go.
Me like
Oh,
it.
I guess.
Me
We were having this, Drink Master was lacing us up in the hotel room with this.
Yes, sir.
The Ring Master brought his own little, all his equipment and everything. We had our little drink. That's all the time we had,
I mean, drinks were flowing out there. No doubt about it. Mamuya.
Mamuya. Oh, Lord. Delicious.
Hot doggy. I like that a lot.
Yep.
So next up, we're going to talk about Sami Zayn defeating Gunther. What'd you think about that match?
Great match.
Yes, sir.
I thought those two went out there and really had a competitive match. I love the chemistry between the two, and big shout out to Sami Zayn. Sami I didn't really know that he was going to have that match. I guess because they didn't build that up for a while. What was it, just thrown in there? 3 weeks out or 2 weeks out?
Right.
But anyways, just with a guy like Sami, he was with the Bloodline for a minute, was probably the biggest, his merchandise sales, I'm sure, was sky to the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
Made it a lot, did real good in merchandise, I'm assuming in sales. And then he just got lost in a minute. And then all of a sudden, boom, out of the blues, he's got a title shot for WrestleMania, and he goes over. So I thought it was a very, very competitive match. Gunther is a good worker. Very, he looks like a good heel. And at the same time, he can work like a good heel. I love how they was chopping the shit out of each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? In WrestleMania, you got to lay it in. And so, big shout out to both of them.
Yeah, I think, again, it's always awesome seeing somebody who's come a long way finally make it to the big stage, WrestleMania, and that's Gunther.
Yeah.
Big shout out to him. Man, what about this 6-woman tag team match? We're talking Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi defeating Damage Control. I mean, how awesome does Jade Cargill look? I mean, Cargill, yeah. How awesome does she look? She looks like a freaking superhero, just straight from a comic book.
Goddess.
Yes.
She looks like a goddess,
A Greek goddess. She is built like a Greek goddess. And I'm loving the team of her and Naomi and Bianca. I mean, that is a dope little team right there.
Yeah, and they're all athletes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm very happy that they got a spot on WrestleMania. Everybody, stands by to be able to hopefully get a spot on WrestleMania. But to see to see them three go out there, first they're athletes. 2, they're all beautiful. 3, they're all educated. So I think in due time, they'll probably be able to give the green light for Jade to kind of move forward. We all know what Naomi can do. We all know what Bianca can do now. So the spotlight, it'll be exciting to see what Jade can bring to the table. You know what I mean? But every single one of them, they look like they're superstars.
The situation kind of reminds me of the Brood. because
Yeah.
Jade is kind of in Edge's spot where they wanted to put Edge with somebody who knew the road and was an OG, so they put him with Gangrel, David,
All
and
right.
they brought in Christian. So it kind of, I think they're doing the same thing. They're putting Jade with experienced workers as Naomi and
Right.
Bianca. So I kind of feel like there's a similarity to the Brood there. Man, she is awesome. I'm a fan, big fan of
Yeah.
her.
And, it's going to help her too. I'm sure. When I came through for the Hall of Fame, they were all three taking pictures back there, for doing a photo shoot. And I got the pleasure to be able to jump into, my first photo shoot with them. And, I'm sure the Bianca and Naomi, will be able to help Jade as far as, show her the ropes, how WWE works, the backstage and, the traveling and so forth. So, it's only going to help her, so I look forward for big things. I would love to see a match between her and Charlotte.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And, somewhere there with the belt, man, put it on the goddess. Jade is the goddess. You just look at her. There's nothing that's wrong with her, from looks to the body to the style, her fashion.
Phenomenal.
There's nothing you can't knock that. That's all superstar status, big money. That's asses and seats right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, that was awesome seeing you there. How was that?
Well,
How was that?
thanks.
How was that?
It was it was I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I got brother, the wise man, for a shoot from behind the scenes. He's been a family member, a family friend of ours for well over 40 something years. And, to be able to, to be there and support in, his inducting into the Hall of Fame was a good thing, And then, my auntie Leah Maivia was inducted too. So, it was a given that I do show up, and it felt good. I walked out with my daughter-in-law Naomi. It felt, good to her. It was emotional for me because I've never walked down any aisle with her. And to be able to hold my, daughter-in-law's hand, and I was squeezing it when we both walked out, the tunnel. And, and big shout out to all the fans. They erupted when I walked out. It was like, it gave me the goosebumps. It gave me like, damn it, I missed I missed this energy. I missed this vibe, this feeling from the fans, out there, yelling and so forth, calling your name and so forth. So, I want to thank everybody though that day, and big shout out to all the, those that were inducted into the Hall of Fame of 2024. Congratulations and welcome to the elite class.
Man, awesome stuff going on all the way around. We're gonna go to a quick commercial, and when we come back, we're actually gonna talk about your son's match. We'll be right back with more Off the Top with Rikishi Fatu.
Rikishi Fatu, Off the Top. We're coming right back.
All right, I would like to thank our first special guest of the show, the Cricket. He is gone.
Cricket.
He is quiet now. So, all right, here we go.
I'll stink face that damn cricket.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with more Off the Top with Rikishi Fatu. All right.
Yay.
So we are going to talk about the yeet or no yeet. You called it. You said that you were going with the yeet.
Yep.
And the yeet prevailed. What did you think about your son's match?
Well, first of all, I'd like to send a big shout out to my sons, to be able to finally have their dream match, in this industry that they've been wanting for a long time. I felt like they went out there, they delivered. I only wish that they could have had a little bit more time. I felt like there was a missing puzzle there, which is the guy who you're listening to now. Hashtag I never got to call Rikishi. So, a lot of, I felt they did great without me, but just to add a little bit more into the match, it would have been a great, a great opportunity, not only for for the fans, but also myself on a personal level, to be able to grace the stage with your kids. That's a memory that will forever be in stone in our family. But at the end of the day, I don't make the calls. I wasn't, like I said, I didn't lie about it. I was right close by. I was in Philadelphia. Everybody knew where I was at, but I never got the call.
So you're saying the WWE never called Rikishi to be a part of WrestleMania?
Absolutely not.
That's why you were absent.
That's why I was absent, And, I don't know, after watching the match, maybe, because, what would be right was for me to be a special guest referee. That's what I felt. I couldn't be a manager because then it would show favor which side I'm leaning toward. Or I could have just been part of the commentary for that one match. If they see fit, like, who knows, maybe they felt like, and I'm not talking about my kids, but maybe the company felt like, oh, maybe Kishi couldn't do the referee, maybe blah, 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 whatever the case it may be, right? Mm-hmm. But there's still something that they could have put me at.
Absolutely.
Be it the front row, or be it, that commentary, or just something.
An interview, backstage promo, vignette, something.
Whatever it was, right? But, at the end of the day, I don't call the shots. I don't work for WWE. I've been gone from them for well over 25 years. And the only reason why I'm relevant in this wrestling game, and I'll shoot with it, is because of my fans. Is anything the bloodline does, anything my kids does, anything any family member does that is relevant on TV, you can guarantee my name is going to pop up.
Yes, sir.
So to me, it's like, the fans, when they speak, somebody's got to listen. Somebody has to listen, and to be able to either, one, honor what the fans are asking for, or two, then, so be it, right? And so it's that. So, that's why I'm very happy. Like, I'm now working on this album now, because this album, if you guys heard my first track that went out, Dynasty Forever. When I say Dynasty Forever, man, I'm dropping gems on there. I'm dropping things that I personally went through, things that I personally see in the wrestling game, things that I feel like how the Dynasty has been treated, and, where the Dynasty stands in this wrestling game. Like, at the end of the day, do we really get our flowers? Do we really get our flowers? Or is it that you can't help but give us our flowers because we're that damn good? Anybody you put against the bloodline, anybody you put against any one of the family members, automatically that person that maybe nobody knew, or maybe people knew, now he's just to the next level. Why? Bloodline is the timeline.
Yes, it is. That's the hashtag right there. Bloodline is the timeline.
Facts. That's facts.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? Let me just say this. Some of these wrestling blogs. Listen, if you guys are listening, obviously you guys are listening because everything we say on this show, you guys happen to just post it up on your wrestling blogs. Appreciate it, but let's give credit where credit's due. You can go ahead and post up what we're talking about here, or what I'm talking about, but go ahead and just, put up the link of the show. I mean, if you're going to share, our story and our show, by all means, have a little bit of respect and just, give credit where credit's due.
Facts.
As we would do for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
That's that. Facts.
Man.
Didn't get me started. Let me get another drink down.
As always, spitting knowledge. Absolutely. I would definitely want another.
Manuel. That's like your second one already?
Yeah. I'm
no wonder our liquor is always done over here. Matter of fact, somebody please send us some liquor bottles here so we can give you a shout out.
Yeah.
And taste it.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll put you on the show. We will absolutely plug it here on the show. All you got to do is send some information to rikishifatu.com.
Yay.
And now back to WrestleMania. Of course, this match was a banger as well. Rey Mysterio, and please help me with this. I've never said his name live, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
Say it again. Andrade, and I'm Mexican, and I'm blowing it. Andrade. They defeated Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. What'd you think about that match?
Well, that match is what it is. You know what I mean? There was a lot of good, spots, a lot of good lucha libre spots. You got 4 great workers. But you know what? One of my favorites in there is Dirty Dom.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that to be able to be in there and work with your father, right? And then you got other, 2 guys that can work their asses off. But he has just slowly, he found himself, right? I mean, he can have a match by himself in WrestleMania and still have a, A+ type of match with the right worker. That kid has just got so much heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just looked like, he knows how to work his character. So big shout out to Dom. I think, what is this, his second or so?
Wow. Yeah.
WrestleMania or
the
third?
last one was against his dad, right?
And then he also had
Yeah.
Logan Paul and Miz year before.
That's awesome. I mean, he's gotten over so much that when somebody has nuclear heat, they're now calling it Mysterio heat.
Mysterio heat.
That is awesome right there.
And you know what?
Yes, sir.
Go figure, right? This is Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, iconic. When you say lucha, you think the king, the GOAT, the icon himself, Rey Mysterio. To be able to have Rey bring his son and mold his son into the game, as a father, you got to give big ups to Rey, right? Molded everything, work with his son, and just right where his son is right and okay now. Now, if Rey wanted to leave, he could step out the picture and do his thing. So, what I'm trying to say is listeners that are out there, you got a father and son, or a family member, that's the thing to do, is to be able to help those escalate up to the next level. I mean, elevate to the next level, to make sure that, you utilize your, I don't want to say power, but utilize your, your strength, your political strength, to be able to put this, your family up where they need to be. And then, because you might as well speak up now while you're important to the company. Because if you're not important, right, who the hell's going to listen to you?
Right.
So, yeah, big shout out to Dom. He's one of my favorites, man. It was good to see him, too, over there.
Absolutely. And now we're going to discuss night one's main event. We're talking about The Rock and Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. What'd you think of that match?
Well, exactly what it is. I felt they delivered. And then we already talked about this on our past podcast. So the prediction that I had was on point. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Never got no inside spoilers from anybody.
Right.
But just from experience, so you're looking at. But the match was great, man. I thought freaking delivered. It was good to see The Rock back in there. However many years he has, 20 years since he's been in the ring?
10.
Yeah, because he had that match with Cena a few WrestleManias ago, so it's been about 12 years or so.
Okay, so, I mean, it's been a while.
Time.
Even a decade, that's a long time.
Yeah.
He was in great shape, man. I mean, both of them, like you could tell, Roman, boy, had his 8-pack, you know what I mean? Rock was all, shredded. So when you're looking at, The Rock and Roman, and you look across the ring and you're looking at Seth and, Cody, I don't know, to me, it was something missing. You know what I mean? It just, and this was the beginning of the match, just looking at this stare-off. Something just didn't fit to me, It just felt like you never want the heels to be more over than the baby faces. But when you're looking at those two standing there, The Rock and Roman, damn it, that's like on, that's on God level. That's on God level. That's just, I mean, you look, these suckers here look like warriors that were just, carved to pieces. and you look across, and you see Cody and Seth, and it wasn't like a Stone Cold or Undertaker standing across from, right? You just didn't feel like these guys had a chance.
Right.
And of course, it was a great match. They all did what they had to do out there to get it over to go into the following night. So I thought it was a great match. Being a great from 1 to 10, I thought it was an 8.
All righty. So, of course, the Bloodline prevailed, which brought us into night 2. Bloodline Rules was the main event of that evening of night 2. So to open up night 1 was, of course, the Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre match. I thought that was an awesome match. I love the twists and turns. Of course, with CM Punk involved, and then of course Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank. What'd you think of that?
I like the entrances. I thought the flamboyant type of entrance that Seth Rollins had.
With all the Mardi Gras dancers coming out. Yeah.
I like that. I like this is just something that I look at, right? I just feel sometimes if the company is going to spend a lot of money on entrances, then that has to do with the finishes too.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's just how I think. I like that. How Drew McIntyre's entrance kind of felt like the gladiator.
Did I spot a Knox Pro student as an extra in that entrance?
Yeah, I think we won't say his name, but yes.
Irate.
Yeah.
I was going to say his name. Nope.
Yeah.
Can we get a one?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry.
I don't know. You got good eyes to be able to go. What did they had about 20 guys standing there with swords?
He stood out like a sore thumb. He just stood out. I don't know what it was. I was able to locate him.
Well, I guess there's a Knox Pro training just trying to, where's your money?
Yes, sir. It's your face.
It's in your face.
Absolutely. So, of course, Damian Priest cashed in. What do you think is Damian Priest as a champion?
I think he's great. He's very, very talented. For him to be able to, be given the belt opportunity that night on the biggest stage of them all. That's nothing but a plus for Damian. Good guy. Let's see what he needs. Hopefully they put the right people to work with this guy here, to be able to draw some money and move up to the next level.
Who do you think would be just singles? We're not talking Judgment Day. Who do you think would be a good singles run with Damian Priest?
I think Randy Orton.
Ooh.
I think.
Damn, Keish, that's fire.
Because I think about, number one, with the quality match, especially if you're holding the gold, it has to make sense. And everybody knows the reputation of Randy Orton, and I think they would have an A+ match all the time. And to be able to work with Randy can only bring the best out of Damian. That's something I feel like somebody would the fans would love to see.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about Randy Orton. We're going to take one more quick commercial break, and we got plenty more when we return back with more Off the Top with Rikishi Fatu.
Rikishi Fatu, Off the Top. We're coming right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Off the Top with Rikishi Fatu. Speaking of Randy Orton, the Logan Paul match with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, another banger. And, of course, Logan Paul defeating Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. What did you think of that match?
I thought it was a great match.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to be. It's just, one, I would have liked to see Randy as a single competitor during a big show like that. But, again, booking wise, whatever the case it may be, stuck him into a three-way dance. I'm very, very surprised at Logan Paul. This kid, he tends to surprise me every time I watch him work. Like he's getting better and better. His skills and his timing and so forth. His theatrical movement, his facial. He's starting to grow in the WWE universe. And finding chemistry, working with veterans such as Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. It was good. Ups and downs in the match. It was great. Good little drama here and there. But that was one of my favorite matches. Because number one is I'm a fan of all three of those guys.
Yes.
I met Kevin Owens back in the day in UK when he was on an independent circuit. So, this was even before he came out to NXT or so forth. And, he was a good worker then. How I get a chance to talk to a lot of independent kids when I'm out there doing signings. I told them, dude, you're good, man. You're going to be up there pretty soon. Just continue to stick with the craft and perfect the craft and, find yourself. Years later, there he is.
Wow.
Say nothing about Randy. He's a GOAT already. Probably doesn't even know it, but he's iconic already. He's a legend. He's the GOAT, for, his family.
Yeah.
Coming from, his pops.
Third generation.
Love his pops, man, was, the Bob Orton, he's been a part of, the family friends for years.
Really?
With my uncles, Alpha and Sika, and Uncle Jimmy, Uncle Haku, that whole crew, But, yeah, there doesn't need no introduction for a guy like Randy Orton. And big shout out to him, man. When I seen him in person at the Hall of Fame, he still looks great.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He still looks great. I mean, he looks like, his body shape, how he's in shape, looked like when he first came in, man, But now he's a little older and a lot smarter.
That's right. Speaking of phenomenal, AJ Styles against LA Knight. LA Knight, of course, victorious. What do you think about LA Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the boys, they went out there and did it. You know what I mean? Considering where they're at, I don't think they really didn't get that much, steam going into WrestleMania. So, at the end of the day, it's going in there to, just do what you do. You're just trying to, get in with the match and do the best you can and then move on. Yeah, LA Knight has become a fan favorite.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Brother AJ, he's been in there for a minute. You know what I mean? And, he does what AJ does, high flying and stuff like that. So I thought they had a great match,
And his hair always looks so good during his matches. It never gets frizzy or nothing. I don't know how he does that. AJ Styles, I want to know your secret.
Probably Head and Shoulders.
There it is. That's right.
There's a plug. Head
There
and
is a
Shoulders.
plug. That is a plug.
For AJ Styles.
The six-man tag match, Philadelphia Street Fight. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits defeat the Final Testament. Now, I'm not familiar with the Final Testament at all. But
Neither do I.
But what I loved about that match was the special guest referee, and of course we're talking about Bubba Dudley.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray Dudley. Yes. What'd you think about that match?
I thought it is what it is.
Right.
They built it up the way it's supposed to be built up. Great costumes. It's good to see. Bubba is a special guest referee. He looks good. And to be able to, it was a hardcore street match, right? That's what it was.
Yes, sir.
Who better to have be the special guest referee
than the Dudley Boy? The
Dudley Boys himself, who made the chair and tables famous.
That's right.
So it was good. I thought it was entertaining.
Got two more matches I want to talk to you about. Okay, so Bayley, she defeats help me with this name as well. Io Sky, and she becomes the WWE Women's Champion. It's first time. Bayley is awesome. Bayley's from the Bay Area, of course. I saw her when she was Davina Rose.
Yeah.
Down at the Newark Pavilion. Nice to see her. And now
big time wrestling.
Yeah, BTW.
Yeah, Frank White, right?
No, Kirk White. Kirk White. Rest in peace.
Kirk White.
Yeah, but BTW. That's exactly where I saw her.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's awesome seeing someone start out in Newark, and then all of a sudden winning the title at WrestleMania. Huge. What'd you think of the match in its entirety?
I'd have to say that was an 8.
Wow.
From 1 to 10.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Big fan of Bayley's.
Okay.
Yeah, she's from the Bay, as we talked about.
That's right.
And she worked hard, man. She did the grind on the independents. Stayed with it, and to be able to see her get up there and have a shot at WrestleMania and win the big one, it's a huge deal. I love the match that it was some good psychology in it. Showcase. What's her name?
Io Sky.
What's her name?
Io Sky.
There you go. Showcase her skills. right? Okay, let me have another drink.
It's okay. I can't say it either.
Io Scott, right? Io. You know what I'm talking about. If you watch WrestleMania, okay. My apologies to you, sweetheart. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So, but watching the match, we all watched it together and sitting there. And, it was good. It was a good psychology match. I thought they both showcased their skills. At a girl, Bailey's size, working with the size of the other girl, Bailey hung with her. You know what I mean? To be able to, go through all those different moves and so forth while they're having a match. So I thought it was, for me, I thought it was maybe an 8 or 9.
There it is.
That was
Wow.
one of my favorite
That's
matches.
a high rating. Congrats to you, Bailey. Highly deserved.
Yes.
That brings us to the main event. Of course, this match it probably had one of the best build-ups in recent memory. I can't remember the last time a storyline was built this good with between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and of course the story was finished. Cody Rhodes victorious. I thought this match was this was my favorite match of the WrestleMania, both 1 and 2. What did you think of that match? That was awesome.
I felt that match was probably the best match of both nights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Me too.
That's just, I'm not knocking on anybody. This match was built up way before The Rock came. And finally, those two were able to showcase, against one another. I love the finishes. I love how the match went back and forth. This is professional wrestling. This is what we all look forward to. It's like, instead of having like a flat type of finish, it's what's going to happen now. What's going to happen. And, you see a lot of the OGs that came into play. Rock came in, we seen that. And then all of a sudden, here comes Jay. You know what I mean? They tie that into blah, blah, blah. Take that big bump off the side of the stage.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom, that happens, and here comes John Cena. You know what I mean? It was so good to see a lot of the, iconic faces that we expect in WrestleMania. And then out of the blues, boom, here you hear the dong. There's the dead man, big choke slam into the Rock. One hell of a bump.
Man.
I've never seen when the lights went out, they were gone so quick. You can imagine where they ran through, because that was a big-ass stadium.
Yep.
And then going into, Solo, and it just, there was so many ups and downs and curves into that finish. And when you had to, after all those, interference, you had to, at that time, to give it to Cody.
Right.
I just
It's
felt,
time.
because I said earlier in the podcast that, business-wise, we'd have to leave it on Roman. But after, how they put that together, and it was on social media, I don't know, don't quote me for the wrestling blog, but it was, Michael Hayes came up with, the finishes, and Michael is one of the genius, with the Freebirds. He's one of the genius minds that today in professional wrestling. So if in case he did come out with that, a big shout out, because they did one hell of a job, and, big shout out to congratulations, to all the players. Congratulations to Roman. Let's not forget about, what he'd done for the company for 3 years, carrying the company on his back and stuff. Now, Cody, this is the biggest win you have ever had in your life. Your story is now closed, but it also begins now, because the responsibility that Cody Rhodes is going to have to be able to carry TKO and WWE now, we'll see what type of work schedule, what type of workhorse that he turns into. And, again, Cody comes from a wrestling family, the Rhodes dynasty, and, I'm sure that he understands the responsibility to being able to carry the belt for the company. So, big shout out to Cody. Congratulations. Congratulations to Roman. Congratulations to everyone that performed in both nights of WrestleMania.
With Cody being victorious at WrestleMania 40, where does that now leave the bloodline angle and story? Because we know that your son Jay just now got a title shot. He's now got a title shot at the world title.
Yeah.
So we know he's got big things going. Where do you see the bloodline going from here?
Well, I don't see the bloodline. I think the bloodline's going to kind of take a back seat for a minute, recoup for a minute. We do have other players that are lined up to be able to come through. But again, the bloodline will always be there. It just has to be, the right, angle, the right storyline to be able to go through. Who knows? I'm going to go out and just throw this out there. I kind of see a War Games. I kind of see somewhere down there The Rock turning on Roman Reigns. Rock becomes the heel. Roman comes back as a babyface. I kind of see the bloodline family members spread up and take sides. And then I kind of see something huge as far as, War Games or some type of gimmick type of matches amongst each other. So they would probably want to build that up for, the next WrestleMania. I believe they have it, in Minnesota, but to have that type of match be put together, it'd be nice to see that happen in the West Coast. It's because a lot of our Polynesian culture, it's all, when you come to the West Coast, we've known this for years, and, the West Coast is island. Nothing but island people that are out here, Samoan, Tongan, you name it, a bunch of Polynesians, Hawaiian. And so to be able to come out here and showcase that match in front of our people would be great.
Speaking of new bloodline members, rumors are out there and running rampant right now. If you've logged on to the web or you've been living under a rock, the rumors right now are that the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu has signed with the WWE. Hot doggy.
Yes, sir.
It's all over the place now. The cat is out of the bag. The oos is on the loose, baby. Big things in 2024 and 2025 and beyond for the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. Who knows what's in store, but that is the rumor. Any comments on that rumor?
No, I'm finally happy that the WWE stepped up. This was the hottest free agent, like we mentioned before. I mentioned before in the past of our podcast before that, whoever didn't, open up their bank book and sign this kid there, that you're missing out. And so I'm very happy that Jacob has, being able to commit to WWE or WWE commit to Jacob. But, once again, I don't know that for sure.
Sir.
I just got home. I haven't talked to Jacob. We've seen them together. You see our Instagram posts. Mm-hmm. Our get together with Zilla and Jacob and the whole, our Knox Pro crew.
It was awesome.
It's like, what we talk about, we're making memories. And, we really didn't talk anything about wrestling. We were just all hugging each other, just laughing. And, Jacob being Jacob, the funny type of guy. And then you got a chance to meet my nephew, Zilla.
Yes.
So, you see him, it was great to be able to all fellowship together. But, yeah, as soon as I can, when I do talk to Jacob, I'll find out for sure. Because I don't tend to believe anything what I see.
Right.
As far as announcements like that.
Sir.
Unless it comes from the WWE himself.
Of course.
Then we'll know. But, I was hoping, if in case they did, the norm, they would, introduce new talent after WrestleMania.
Yep.
Because they got to build talent up, right?
Yep.
And so, I was hoping to see either Jacob make his debut there, if in case he did sign. Mm-hmm. Or it would have been nice, Jacob hit, the WrestleMania when Cody, won the championship belt. Yep. Let Cody get the glory, blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, here comes this fresh new face, on the big screen, but a face well known on the indie circuit, and have Jacob hit then. So I'm glad. I'm looking forward to Jacob working with Randy Orton, working with guys like Rey Mysterio. I think he have a great run with, Seth Rollins. A good run with Cody. Even a good run with Jay. I believe if, Jacob, ties hands with Jay, his cousin, man, that's going to be another, like, main event type of status. You
You
know what I
never
mean?
know. I see the whole Civil War angle you're talking about. You never know. Roman's players could be Zilla and Jake, and then Rock's players could be the Usos, and then boom, it's a big family war.
Yeah.
There's so much in store, and especially with Jacob and yourself. You can never say never in this business. So I know I speak for many of the fans out there. I know many fans want to see you back, some way, shape, or form involved with your sons. So
Yeah.
who knows what the future holds? But I do know this. On the way in here, this a few hours ago when I walked in, you were
Yeah.
working on your new album,
Yep.
and you just have banger after banger after banger after banger. These
Yeah.
beats are dope. Can you before we let you go, can you talk a little bit about this new song that you got coming out?
Well, me and my team and Frank Ward, we've been working on a song called "I'm a Bad Man," and again, it has to do with who I am and the love for my family. Pretty much just speaking about me and the wrestling business, especially my family. And so this one here, "I'm a Bad Man," is going to be a banger. I mean, the first one, big shout out to everybody that tagged us in TikTok. And the faces of a lot of guys, like when they heard the song for the first time, the beginning of it, their cell on their face, it almost looked like, yeah, this is gonna be the this is gonna be the
Another wrestler with an album.
yeah, another wrestler with an album. But
Yeah.
once we got into the lyrics and so forth, now they start. You can see them, like their facial expression was like, "Damn, I didn't know he could, he got bars like this."
Yes, sir.
And so, I'm just trying to put up songs that I like, like what I'm feeling. Let my album be like a message to the world. I still feel, and back then and today, that the dynasty, we don't get the recognition that I feel that we deserve. It's not given to us. We've went out there and taken. The only thing they gave to us was opportunity, and to be able to go out there and make people, and put asses in seats and so forth. We've been doing this for 75 plus years, man. And so, none of my family had put out an album, and I just felt like at this time, and it's time for Kishi to, to step up, and it's through music, through the love of music. Everybody can relate, but everybody can also hear the message that's in there. So, y'all get ready, because we about ready to come out with some bangers, man. And,
When are we gonna hear a little snippet of that?
we probably put it out. I don't know, maybe sometime. You know what? After y'all listen to the podcast, you can probably go right there to the YouTube. I'll probably put it up right then.
Okay.
Okay. So, but please, while you guys at it, lace up your comments and so forth. And I want to hear your honest opinion. There's nothing that you can say to me that's going to hurt my feelings, because I'm going to just use that for energy. Whatever backlash you guys think, if you think I'm the shits at it, by all means, tell me. You know what I mean? Because that's just going to fuel me to come back and with my team and say, we need to do something better. And we're in here, you know it, we in here working all the time with, in the studio and so forth. And we already got, about 4 tracks done. So, and every track that's already done, I feel like, it's a banger. So stay tuned.
Well, I absolutely myself personally cannot wait for your album to drop.
I'm a bad man.
Yeah, so I got to see a little behind the scenes stuff and hearing stuff. So I just can't wait for the world to hear it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you shoot your music video. Like, there's a lot you got going on. Not only are you a bad man, but you're a busy man. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go, but really quick, you graded WrestleMania Night 1 a 6. What did you grade WrestleMania Night 2?
I'd have to go 8.
8. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only reason that because that finish, that was the thing that we remembered for the second night, and it was the most exciting night for me.
Absolutely. It made me jump out of my seat and start feeling like a little kid again. So that's how
Yeah.
I judge good wrestling. It's how it makes you feel inside.
Yeah.
I reacted. Anyways, it was a great night. Personally, my highlight of WrestleMania was watching it with you and a little bit with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. What's your experience with Ted DiBiase?
And I just seen him into the refrigerator taking, 3-4 bottles of water.
Yeah.
Some wrestlers, hey, I do the same, when you go to hotels, you got that little green room.
Man, it was dope. It was fully stocked.
Yeah, they had, and here we were there for 3 days.
Yes, sir.
And we found that damn place the last night. What a bunch of idiots we are. We didn't. I'll tell you, boy, my team, boy.
And you know what? Some of the people's faces walking into the lounge. So these are wrestling fans at the hotel, and they walk into a lounge and have no idea Big Keish is there watching WrestleMania. We're watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So Big Keish starts messing with a few of the people walk in. He's like, hey, yeah, you joining the viewing party? $40. And they're like, yes, sir. And they yes, sir. Them. They reach in their pockets. It's not a viewing party. We're just chilling. But that was my highlight at WrestleMania, was watching it next to you and Reno and Drink Master.
By the way, we did not take their money.
No, absolutely not. But they were about to give it to you. They're about to give it to you.
He said by the time they left, we were leaving. Remember? And he said, "Keish, I just wanted to. This was the greatest WrestleMania." Greatest WrestleMania, because I was sitting here with you.
Two fans got to watch WrestleMania with you. Unexpected. So absolutely. Manuia, man. It was such a great weekend, Big Keish. It was such a great experience. It was also my first road trip with you guys since 2015, 2016. So it felt like old times.
Many more to come.
Yes, sir. It was really good to see you there, and I'm just really happy to be back. Right?
Yes,
you happy
sir.
to be back home?
We home, man.
All right, we're gonna let you go because I know you not only a bad man, you a busy man. # busy man. Manuia, Big Keish.
All right.
Before we let you go, do you have any last words?
Well, as always, it's free to be kind to one another, and always, always stay smart. Yee.
Yay! Yay!
Yay, yay!
I didn't know you had that.
It's time to smarten up. It's time to say things that people are scared to say. It's time to bring you on into my home so you know what time it is. In the locker room, in the hip-hop world, in the wrestling world. You might even come into my kitchen.